Hi, I haven't uploaded in like 3 months, so I figured this would be a good way to get back into the spirit. I hope that this makes up for the severe lack of uploads on my channel. Anyways, so we are going to be ranking all 28 of the Terraria NPCs based on these 5 tiers. We have Smash, A Solid Knight, Bleh, See Ya, and Die. They're all pretty self-explanatory. Starting with the Angler. Hello. Hello? You work, Mike? Thank you, Mike. There's a lot you can do with the Angler. So, here's the thing. If I was 13 years, I still wouldn't pick this guy. This guy sucks. There's absolutely no redeeming factors about this creature. He probably has good hands from all the fishing, but that's the only redeemable factor I see. And sadly, I can't openly admit to wanting to have with a... Anyways, Clothier. That is definitely something. He kind of has the same thing as the Angler, where I think his hands are probably very functional. I imagine he's very intricate with the sewing and whatever stuff Clothiers do. He probably has a lot of like outfits he could put you into if you're into like roleplay and stuff. So I mean, honestly, like, but he is kind of old too. So like, I think for the right kind of person, you know, if you're looking for an inheritance check or something, you know, I personally would not get down with the Clothier, but I could see it, you know, I could get where you're coming from. The Arms Dealer, hear me out, okay? I'm gonna leave it at this. If you've ever read Haunting Adeline, you'll know where I'm coming from here. But, I mean, the guns, you know, I see the potential in him. And that trigger finger, you gotta keep that in mind too. Like, he's probably got good trigger finger. That's all I'm saying. Now, he's not the most handsome guy. We have to address the elephant in the room here, and that is his skin color. Now, depending on who you are, that's either a good thing or a bad thing. I personally, as much as I dislike the darker skin tones, I actually, you know, a white man just simply isn't gonna have the same genetics down there that a black man has. So I think that's also something to take into consideration. He does look a little older. I can't tell if those are braids. Okay, wait. Okay, so he actually is pretty young from the looks of it. He looks pretty young. I'd say he's probably in his 30s, 40s, so he's still got potential, you know? You can't just rule him out. I mean, his hair looks a little gray, but yeah, keep in mind, he's got them African-American genetics, the performance, the increased... I don't know if you guys can tell, but my parents watch these videos, and I'm really trying here to censor myself, but I could see it. I think he'd be a solid knight. He's got that trigger finger, you know, plenty of toys to play with. I could see it. Cyborg, that's an interesting one. So, I don't know. I don't know about the Cyborg. I feel like the Cyborg doesn't really have much personality. And the gadgets that he sells, I don't think are exactly anything mind-blowing. I wouldn't. I don't think I'd kill him. I mean, he looks fine, you know. He's an alright looking guy, but I mean, he might have like a little Johnny Sins going on under that mask. I mean, he looks pretty bald, but we just don't know enough about him, and I wouldn't trust him personally. The Demolitionist is just dangerous. He looks like the kind of guy that would beat you and then blow your body up afterwards. And I mean, the beard is just like, yeah, he gives me some real hardcore dwarf vibes, and when I think dwarf, I don't get really excited at the thought of a dwarf. I don't know if you guys do, but he's a real dangerous pick, and there's really not much attractiveness wise. I mean, he's definitely probably a big strong man if you're into that, but me personally, I'm killing him. He's gonna end up killing me, so I might as well do it first. Dryad, that's obvious. I mean, look at her. There's nothing wrong there. There's not a single issue there. There's not much more to be said there. Dye Trader, that's interesting. I honestly, I like the outfit. The outfit is kind of doing it for me, but I don't really feel anything when I look at him, in all honesty. I think Blaze, you know, he's alright, you know, but there's nothing earth-shattering there. I could go either way. Stylist. Now, I don't know about you guys, but the Stylist, in my opinion, kind of looks like, she looks like a high school teacher if she didn't have to look professional. If the high school teacher didn't have to look professional. And, you know, I see the potential. I could understand if somebody looked at her and, you know, had certain opinions. Me personally, not my thing. But, I mean, she is a girl, so that helps a little bit. But I'm trying to treat both genders with equality here, so I can't really use that as a selling point. I don't know. I think a solid knight behind the guns dealer is fair. I don't think Bleh is a good spot for her. The Goblin Tinker, this guy's just ugly. I mean, this guy is just as bad as it gets. I'm sorry if anybody watching this video is a crazy Goblin Tinkerer stan and, like, is gonna get offended if I do this, but, I mean, like, this guy is just the ugliest NPC, in my opinion. And he doesn't even have, like, a good personality to back it up. He's like a Jew. He just takes your money and then... No, not my thing. Golfer. Now, similarly to the arms dealer, the golfer also has the advantage of having a darker skin color and having increased genetics in the context of this video. But he looks like, he just looks boring, you know? He looks like he would be expecting you to do all the work, and he'd just kind of lay there and, like, look at you funny. Maybe crack a joke about the weather. He'd ask you how the weather's going on the first date, you know? And I don't really find that attractive at all. He does have the advantage of having the darker skin color. So I think Bleh is okay, but I don't know if I'd put him above or below the Dye Trader. Even with the genetic superiority of skin color of the golfer, I think Dye Trader has to go above it. Witch Doctor is really interesting. I don't know if you've ever been on the Terraria fan art side of the internet, but there is a shocking amount of Witch Doctor stuff out there. And I just couldn't believe it. Like, people love this guy. And I kind of see it, you know? Like, he looks intimidating, but not in a demolitionist kind of way. He looks intimidating in a scary-ish way. And you have the added unknowingness of him being a lizard. And I actually don't know if it's a he or a she. Is the Witch Doctor a he or a she? Okay, it is a male. But, I mean, you kind of see what I'm going at here. Like, this is kind of how the Terraria community views the Witch Doctor. And if you look at him in that light, I can definitely see where the community's coming from. Because, I mean, that is a big, strong man who has had years to refine his craft. And you know that that towel is covering, not a single inch of that towel is going to waste. I think a solid knight above the Stylist is fair for the Witch Doctor. You know, I see it. I completely see the appeal. The Guide, he's kind of on the same area as the Golfer, except he doesn't have the advantage of the genetics that the Golfer has. You know what I mean? The Guide is just a really boring guy, and he seems very mid, you know? But he just doesn't really... I couldn't see much happening with the Guide. I think I'm gonna put him in Sia, but he's gonna definitely go above the Cyborg, just because the Cyborg is weird. At least you know what you're getting into with the Guide. I think the Clothier still has higher potential than the Guide, though, just because of, you know, all the handiwork he does. The Mechanic. Oh, Lord. Now, this girl could be a good time with the right mindset. Yeah. I mean, she just has so much to work with. You will not have a boring time with her. She can basically wire up any contraption you could wish for. You know, it depends on what you're into, but I could see it, you know? And, I mean, you look at her chest, it's clear that she's got some stuff going on there. So, I mean, she's by no means an unattractive girl. Yeah. Oh, my mom's calling me. Hello.
That's a chair. Is it, nothing else would fit in there? Well, right now, this is a...
Okay, she butt dialed me. Anyways, yeah, I see a lot of potential with the mechanic. Oh, no, she's calling me again.
It's more in the middle.
Hello?
It doesn't seem like it's for conversation. Go downstairs, take a picture, coming in from the road.
Yeah, the mechanic, I see good potential on her. I think I'm gonna put her on a solid night. I don't know if she goes above the witch doctor though. I think she does. I think she goes above the witch doctor. Merchant, this guy is old. He is old. I mean, he might have experience to go off of, but I mean, this is an old white man. I don't think I'd kill him. Yeah, there's just no, I don't see any good aspects of him in this sense. Nurse, this one should be pretty obvious in all honesty, but she's actually kind of a bitch, which some people get off to, but I prefer just genuine people, and she is just not that. So as much as you might expect me to smash Nurse like all day, I think she's A tier. Like, she is a very, very solid option. She is right up there on S, but she's just so rude, you know? If you've ever been to, like, hospital first aid or something, and you've had to experience an overworked nurse or a doctor, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They are not pleasant to be around. They do not give a crap about you. Some people like the degradation stuff, I do not, but there's no denying that the nurse is a very, very attractive woman. Painter, I mean, he looks like a upstanding, hardworking guy, but we're not talking about 40-year-long marriages here. We're talking about one night on to the next one, you know? You know, he seems okay, but I'm sure he's a good person with, you know, good morals, upstanding. You know, he probably has goals in life, things he wants to achieve, but he's not much more than bled to me. I'd understand if somebody, you know, had stronger opinions on him higher up on the board, but me personally, just not my thing. The party girl, this might flip some people's expectations, but she is right behind the Dryad for me. What can I even say here? She is such a personality. She is so high energy, so cheerful, but also so fun. So she just gives me that down for anything vibe, you know? And I feel like I'd walk out, I'd be taking an Uber home that night and my day would be made so much better. I would not be able to get a smile off my face. And that's just kind of the vibe I get from her, so. The pirate NPC is definitely someone. All I can really think about right now is how he smells. Like, I know this man does not smell good. I mean, he's a big guy, you know, big stinky guy, not really that good of a person, so he'd probably end up killing you by the end of the night. I could see it. I can see some potential in him, but I can't put him any higher than Sia. I think he goes above the Cyborg. I don't see many redeeming qualities for him. Santa Claus. Now, Santa Claus is known for his big sack. He's also a very joyful guy. You know, kind of gives me the same vibes that the party girl does. I don't think I'd be able to get the smile off my face on the way home. You can't ignore the fact that he is also a very old man and probably doesn't have much time on his hands, based on, you know, all the preparations for Christmas and, you know, going to every mall in the United States to get pictures, and he also just seems like too much of a sweetheart, you know? There's nothing wrong with being passionate, but you also have to be a little aggressive, because that's just the way it is, you know? It's just the way the human mind works, and I just don't see Santa bringing any form of oomph to the table. But you can't ignore the big sack either. You don't know what he could pull out of that sack. You know, he could send you home with a PS5. So there is an incentive to take him in. So I'm gonna put him at the top of Bleh. Skeleton Merchant, what do you even do with this? Like, go find a girl that has a BMI under 20. And that's basically what you're getting with the Skeleton Merchant. Yeah, that would be rough. That would be really rough. Some people are into necrophilia, so I can almost understand it, but it's not like he's even really an attractive skeleton. He's not really a badass skeleton, like a Harley riding skeleton, and he's also not a sexy skeleton, so I mean, he's already dead, so let's just kill him again. No. Steampunker, she is definitely a person. I mean, she kind of has the same issue with the pirate, I can imagine. She is probably a really stinky person, just from all that hard manual labor she does all day. And for some people, that's cool. But having pheromones is not a bad thing, but I do not imagine hers being very good. She also, you know, she's kind of slim. You know, there's not much to work with there. There is more to work with than, say, like, the painter. But I also don't think she would be bad by any means. So I honestly think, like, a solid knight above the stylist. Tavernkeep. I mean... Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I can't. Tax collector, you are going to be at an active net loss if you do anything with this man. I honestly put him below the goblin because the tax collector, you can't even like do anything with him. All he's gonna do is complain to you about how hard his day is, how much his back hurts, and how little you're doing for him. He just looks like a miserable guy to be around. On the other hand, the traveling merchant. Now, okay, normally this is a bad thing for like relationships, but we're not looking at this from a relationship perspective. This guy gets around, okay? And that means he has a lot of experiences and a lot of knowledge. This guy knows ball. I think anything you could wish for, this guy could grant you. Normally, that's not a good thing because if he gets around, that also means any STD you could wish for, he can probably grant you. But he looks to still be pretty decently aged. Yeah, I mean, he's still, you know, he's got the gray hair, but he's still got a couple years of his prime left. You know, he's out of his prime, but I could still see potential in him. And he's a handsome feller. I mean, look at him. He is dripped out. There is nothing wrong with that guy. I mean, solid knight, man. And you know, this is actually kind of irritating me. I'm going to put Witch Doctor above Mechanic. Honestly, I'm going to put him above... Yeah, I'm putting him above the Arms Dealer, too. The only thing the Arms Dealer really has is his African genetics. It is pretty clear that he beats them African genetics out by quite a bit. And this is the one you guys probably have all been waiting for. Zoologist. This is the perfect Terraria NPC. What more could you ask for in a girl? Massive honkers. Furry. You might think that because it's me rating her, I'm gonna deduct points from her because she has a darker skin tone, but she actually does the opposite for me. Although I'm not a huge fan of the, you know, hood rat dark skins, I actually love dark skinned people in general, looks wise, and she is just as good as it gets. And this comes as a shock to absolutely nobody. Oh, but she's at the top of my list. I mean, what else could you ask for in a girl? I'm genuinely asking, what else could you ask for? She's a little bit mental too, and that just, mwah. You hit her up on a full moon, ask her to come over, like, mwah. Truffle. Okay. Some people are into those like skin suits, you know, where you can't see the person's facial features at all. That is what I think of when I look at the Truffle. I actually can understand if anybody is attracted to the Truffle. I personally do not find the Truffle that attractive, but I can completely see it. He also doesn't really look like, you know, there's not much there. It's a big mushroom with eyes. And I mean, I don't know what them mushroom claws can do, but I can see the appeal. And I think right there is pretty good. Wizard, don't sleep on magic. That's all I'm saying. Do not sleep on magic. But he is an old man, you know, there's really not much to look at there. I don't know what's hiding underneath that cloak, but I'm also not sure I really want to. I wouldn't kill him, but I think that's fair. I think that's fair. So, there's my list. Is there anything I would like to change here? I don't think so. I honestly think the painter can go above the golfer. I think the painter looks like a little bit more of a fun time than the golfer. I think my list is about as good as I'm gonna get it. So, yeah, let me know in the comments if you agree with this. This is my Terraria Smashability tier list.